Hey, Luke. Question for Luke.
How's it going?
Congrats, Luke.
Thank you.
So just take us to your range of emotions, getting thrust in the game, throwing the pick, steadying things down, and then getting the comeback win.
Yeah. You know, when you get put in the middle of the game, you know, it's fun to go in and play, but it's not easy because everybody else is kind of in the rhythm of the game. So tried to settle down as best I could. You know, move the ball, which was encouraging, and then the pick. It was just a miscommunication on my part. Whiteout did a good job of keeping it skinny. I thought they rotated, or I thought they stayed too high, and they rotated down, but the boundary safety stayed in a too high alignment, but ended up being single high. So Josh did a good job at running a single high adjustment. I thought he was going to bend it in, but you know, that's on me.
And then keeping your poise.
Yeah. You know, it's a long game, and I knew we could move the ball in them. It wasn't like we were going 3 and out. The O-line was starting to establish themselves, especially in the run game, and it basically turned into a full quarter of team run. It's nice when you can do that for a drive, but to do it for 2 and the game-winning one, it was spectacular.
What's it mean to you, everything you've been through and where you were at the end of last season and through the spring?
Yeah, no, it's, you know, I talked to you guys at Media Day. It's been a tough road coming back in healthy. Competed my butt off in camp. Felipe won the job. You know, he earned it. I thought he played pretty well tonight. You know, sometimes you just need to shake things up and get a spark. And you know, going in, it was nice to be back out there. I actually never got hit, so going back to I just want to take my hit. I never got hit, so still looking forward to that.
Is there an advantage maybe just being on the sideline and kind of removed from the game as far as watching, maybe being able to see what the defense is doing?
Yeah, you know, Kentucky kind of runs what they run. They don't really mix up a whole lot of, you know.
Hey guys, these other players are going to be in here for about 5 minutes if you want to get some other guys.
Based on who they play, they don't.
Keeping everyone in here 5 minutes.
You know, shell defense, so they were doing what we studied, so they're just saying.
And then, what's the quarterback room like? Obviously, you're disappointed when you don't win the starting job. How are you guys able to kind of just keep it cordial and help each other now that egos get in the way?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing for me is I want to be as supportive as possible. Like I said, I didn't come back to coach or mentor, but if I didn't win the job, which I didn't, I was going to be there in every way that I could. And I feel like I've done that, and I feel like teammates appreciate that, and the coaches obviously do because it goes a long way. And Felipe was there for me too. When he came out, you know, he was supportive. He didn't pout, and it's hard not to because you know, you just got pulled. You know, it's difficult. So credit to him, really mature about it. But good team win.
Do you think you deserve the job now for next week, or how do you look at it?
I'm not really worried about that right now. Just happy that we won tonight.
What does this win do for you guys? Coach Max before the game said Kentucky's kind of in the driver's seat. With you beating that team, a road win, getting 3 games at home, what does this do for you?
Yeah, you know, it's a great road win. Great crowd, sellout crowd. That's the loudest that I've heard in Kentucky Stadium. It sounded a lot louder than 62,000. So, you know, they did a really good job filling the seats. Players played really hard. Glad that we came out with the win. It's a good East win. Those kind of count like 2. You know, it's the SEC win and an East. So saw Georgia, you know, beat Mississippi State pretty bad. So, you know, East is better than people think.
What does it say to stop this team, the ability to win 2 games like you just did?
You know, and you never want to be in those situations, but the fact that you can be in them and overcome them, I think is big. A lot of teams, when they get down big like that and they're younger like we are, they kind of shut down, they kind of pack their bags and say, okay, well, we lost, we'll just get the next one. You know, this team fights. You know, we had the hardest training camp I've ever had in 5 years. You know, Coach Max said he was going to make it hard, and you know, the benefit was what you saw tonight.
Tony, I mean, what kind of weapon is this guy? He's like, I feel like he should get the ball like every other play.
I agree. Sometimes I'm just like, go, just, you know, make 5 people miss and then throw the best ball of the night. So he's electric. You know, he's a great guy. He's mature beyond his years. Smart player. He knows 5 positions. You know, that's really hard for any player. He's a freshman. He's a true freshman. So he played great. He's a big weapon for us.
What's the upside of this offense when you look at the fact it's Tyree, him, Malik and getting all the foot touches.
Yeah, Brandon Powell and Freddie Swain. I mean, we're
But I'm
very.
just saying the youngest.
Oh, the young nucleus. Yeah, you know, they're mature and they can handle it. The moment's not too big. You know, you saw Malik just getting fed at the end of that game. He was turning runs that should be, you know, maybe a yard, maybe 2 yards into 5-yard gains. And, you know, that's how we won the game. Because the O-line blocked their tails off in the league, you know, made people miss what we needed to.
Can you take me through the last touchdown pass?
Yeah, so it was a run play, obviously. It was going to be the same run play we'd run about 5 times up to that point. We ran on 4th and 6 inches is when they measured, and it was short, same play. Just kind of a dive. And I got under center, and I looked to my right to make sure that Freddie was set, stinking ability, and he kind of gave me like a wide-eyed look and kind of put his arms up. He didn't want to scream it. If you bring a lot of attention to yourself, they're just going to come cover you. So Freddie is a guy that I had a lot of reps with at camp, a lot of reps with every week of practice. So I probably trust him the most out of anyone in the wideout room, just because of all the reps that we've had this year. We rehabbed together our shoulders, so kind of funny that worked out that way. I trust him. I didn't even look to see if the corner was out there because I was already under center, and I knew if I popped up and then went back down, they would cover it. So completely trust him. Threw it. Thank God when I threw it, I saw the corner coming at me, so it worked out.
You've been a starter, obviously, most of your career. I mean, what was it like to be called on in that situation?
Yeah, you know, I said earlier, it's hard to go in the middle of the game when everybody's kind of sweaty and been hitting and in the rhythm and the flow of the game, kind of go in cold turkey. The experience I had last year really helped. You know, I wasn't overwhelmed. It was a away atmosphere. I wasn't shocked because of that. Maybe it's because I'm pretty old for college now. I don't know. But you know, having that experience to lean on was really helpful.
How would you describe their urgency level when they go up 13 on your sideline?
Yeah, I mean, it was, hey, we need to score now. You know, we can't punt again. So we scored, and then we saw how our defense was playing, and we knew we were going to win. Because, you know, if they don't score and the way our offensive line was blocking, we knew we had enough time to run the ball and get it down there.
Luke, what about that run at the end? I mean, they got good field position and looked like they were in field goal range.
Yeah.
When you saw that flag, what was going on the sideline?
Oh man, you know, I've been on the other side of field goals for wins. I was on the kick 6 Alabama team, so it's not a good memory. But when I saw the flag, I knew it was a hold because of where it was thrown in the backfield. So huge relief, huge relief. You know, their kicker put a good stroke on it, but that's a really far field goal. I mean, that's hard for anyone to make.
Did you wonder if you'd ever have a moment like this again?
I had a feeling that I would have to play sometime this year, whether it was, you know, we were killing a team or, you know, hopefully not, but injuries happen. We saw last year. Multiple guys play. Every year that I've been in college besides one, multiple guys have played. So I practiced like I was going to play. I prepared like I was going to play. But I support Felipe like he was the starter and helping him in every way that I could. I think that serves you well. You know, treat people like you would want to be treated in that situation. Don't be bitter about not playing.
And then with Freddie, did you see any frustration in him not getting a catch the first 2 weeks, and that was his first catch in the season there?
Oh, I didn't know that. You know, everybody gets frustrated when they're not playing, and even more so when you're playing but not getting catches. But you know, Freddie's a smart guy. He knows, you know, eventually I'll get a ball thrown my way. And we've had plays designed for him. We just haven't gotten the right looks. We just haven't gotten the right, you know, maybe throw or protection here. It's whatever. It's different circumstances. He stayed patient, kept doing his job.
Passes Freddie technically one of the easiest passes you'll ever make in your career. You know, when you're there.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard.
But where's the stress level on it? Don't overthrow it. Don't bounce it.
You know, usually when a guy's like wide open, it's like you just kind of want to just hand it to him. I don't know. Maybe I was in the rhythm of the game. It felt pretty easy. You know, when I first threw it, I was like, oh God, I hope that wasn't over his head. But you know, it ended up working out.